everyone. I am so excited to welcome you back to the Reading Lab and to welcome my new ELD groups. I'm here in my home office with my cat Leia, and I just wanted to touch base and tell you a few things you need to know about Reading Lab. We're going to be starting Reading Lab on August 31st, and we'll be starting ELD groups on September 2nd. Upcoming in this video, you're going to see the exact times that you need to go onto your Google Meet. You've already been invited to a Google Classroom, and so you just need to join that classroom. During the time of our Reading Lab and ELD groups, the materials that you're going to need a whiteboard and marker. If you don't have a whiteboard, you can have a white piece of paper inside a plastic sleeve, and that works just as well. If you don't have access to any of those things, please send me a Parent Square message or an email, and I'll touch base with you and try to get something worked out and get you something what you need, okay? Upcoming in this video, you're going to see the times that we're going to have our Google Meets. You're also going to find videos on how to join the classrooms, find the assignments, how to make 2 windows in one screen, how to enlarge an assignment, and how to present. At the very end, I'm going to go through our Title I slideshow, which just explains all of the things that we do in the Reading Lab and how that relates to our Title I. I look forward to seeing you guys on August 31st or September 2nd or both. Our schedule for the Reading Lab is as you can see here. The Reading Lab portion of it, we meet Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. You can see the grade level times posted. Each class is approximately 30 minutes. It may end earlier. And on Wednesdays, we have ELD groups, and you can see those times there as well. And again, approximately 30 minutes, but possibly ending slightly early. So when you go into your Google Classroom, you should see all of your classes that you have with your other teacher. And you can see mine are all Reading Lab classes, but you should have one that says Reading Lab. And on the bottom down here, it'll say join, or I believe it says decline. So what I need you to do is press join. Okay, this is what gets you into the Reading Lab Google Classroom. Once you've joined the Reading Lab classroom, then when it's time for Reading Lab, you go into your class, and what you'll find in here, this is your Google Meet link if you're in Miss Heron's group, and you would click on this to join the Google Meet. Over in classwork, the way it's divided up here is by grade level, okay? You'll see a few things at the top here. Kinder through 2nd grade, this is your Lolilo link to go into that. And the reason you see this is grayed out here is because it's not active yet. You can see it'll be active September 4th. So all of the things I'm going to show you today are not active. So you scroll to your grade level, and right now we just have 1st grade set up and ELD, and you would go to the date and open up the assignment. If you are coming to the Google Meet, we will do the assignment together. So you will have to open it, but we're going to do it together. If you are unable to make it to the Google Meet, then you would find the assignment here and do it here. Before you come to your Google Meet, have open the assignment for the day. And then in a separate tab, you would open your Google Meet. So as you can see across the top, I've got my Reading Lab class open. I have my assignment for the day, and I have my Google Meet activated. I have the camera and microphone off now so it doesn't interfere with the recording I'm currently making. When you're in the lab, I ask that you leave your camera on because we're going to be asking you to show us things on your whiteboard, okay? You'll start with it muted, and your Reading Lab teacher will tell you when to unmute. If you are unaware, in order to add a new tab, up at the top, you would click New Tab, and then you would go to where you want to go. Google Classroom can be found if you go to the 9 dots and you scroll sometimes. There's your Google Classroom, okay? And so that's how you would add a tab. What I want to show you now is how to have two screens side by side open so that you can see two different things at once. This can get a little tricky, so please practice. The first thing you need to do is take one of your tabs, either the Meet or the Assignment, and you're going to click and hold it and pull it down. And you're going to see it's going to come and become its own little window here. Once you've done that, then on a Chromebook, you're going to push Alt and a bracket. Okay. And if I push the right bracket, you see my Google Meet goes to the right side. Then I click on the other thing that I want open. And again, I push Alt and this time the left bracket so that I can see that. Okay. This I know is very small, and we'll talk about what to do with that. Okay. So this way you have your assignment open and you have your Google Meet open so you can see what your teacher is sharing with you, because there will be times they're going to share something with you and you need to do something. So this is how you make two screens within. Again, please practice. This does take a little bit of getting used to. The last thing I want to show you is when you have the two tabs up and your teacher is asking you to do something. I realize that this screen over here with the assignment is small and you might have a hard time seeing it. So what you can do is you push this square here and it'll make it bigger. Now, you no longer can see your Reading Lab teacher, but they can still see you because it's still, your Google Meet tab is still open. And you would move your items to where they need to go and do the work. And then when you're done and you're ready to show your teacher, or you're ready to go back to the teacher screen, you once again hit the Alt left bracket, and now I can see my Google Meet again. If your teacher asks you to share what you've done, you would hit Present Now, and you're going to say a Chrome tab, and then you click what it is you want to share. And it's now showing. You can't see it on this screen just because of the way I have it set up, but anybody else in my group would be seeing it, and that's what they would be seeing right there. Okay. When you're done sharing, after your teacher's seen it, then you would push Stop Presenting, and you're back to your original position. Please do not press Present Now unless your teacher asks you to. I want to take a few minutes and discuss Title I and how that relates to the Reading Lab. So these are the questions I'm going to be answering in this short presentation. So Title I is the largest federally funded educational program, and its purpose is to provide supplemental funds to help meet the educational goals for at-risk students. At Webster, about 44% of the students are socioeconomically disadvantaged. The majority of the Title I funds right now go to support the Reading Lab staffing and materials, and is described in the school plan for student achievement. So since the majority of Title I funds go to support the Reading Lab, I want to share a little bit about what we do in the Reading Lab. First, you need to know that there are different stages of reading development. Students begin off in the first stage with what's called phonological awareness. Think of phonological as like a phone. We talk on a phone, we hear a phone. We aren't typically seeing the things that are going on a phone, aside from text messages. So phonological awareness involves the sounds that the letters make. So if I were to say to a student, what word is this? D-A-G. The student would need to blend those sounds and say dog. The next one is alphabetic principle, and that's knowing the letters that make a sound. So knowing the names of the letters, the shape of the letter, and the sound of the letter. That comes after phonological awareness. Next, we have phonics, which is blending together sounds to make a word. When you get to phonics, you're dealing with actual letters. So the students would see the word cat, and then they would sound it out, k-at, and say cat. Reading Lab focuses on those three aspects for the majority of the time. Next, you have comprehension, which is being able to answer and ask questions about what's read, and then vocabulary development. And with vocabulary, you're saying, based on what I'm reading, what does this word mean? And using the clues within the sentences to tell us the definition of the words. So what is the Reading Lab and what do we do? We provide targeted small group instruction on precise skills that the students need. We have 4 instructors that provide instruction to small groups that are between 3 and 5 students. We teach phonemic awareness, phonics, letters, and fluency. We use multisensory techniques, visual cues like a mat and colored pieces to represent letters, sand trays, Play-Doh, magnetic markers, highlighters, chalk. All of that is what we do when we're in person in Reading Lab. Doing this distance, we're going to be using similar items, but it's going to be done digitally. We use something called a feedback loop, which is where we have small groups. So if a student's not getting it, we have time that we can stop and we can repeat and repeat and repeat until the child gets it. We use a variety of curriculum, and we do small group instructions for students who need listening, speaking, writing skills in English. And those are going to be our ELD groups that you've heard me talk about earlier in this video. These are the various curriculums we use, lots and lots of different things. A lot of them are Orton Gillingham approved, which is a specific type of method when you are working with students who are struggling readers. What's different for distance learning? We're going to meet in our Google Meets. Reading Lab students will meet Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Students who need ELD will be meeting on Wednesdays. If your child can come to the meeting, all of their work will be done at that time. If they can't, then everything will be posted to Google Classroom the next morning. Since our groups end at 3 o'clock, I won't have time to really post everything until the next morning. So just be aware of that. They can complete their assignments through the videos. Typically, we assess usually we assess 3 times a year. This year, I am hoping that we will get to test twice a year, all 600 plus students, to see who has needs and what those needs are. And then every 3 weeks or so within the Reading Lab, we assess the Reading Lab students to monitor their growth and make sure they're making progress in what skills we're reaching with them. Student scores on their progress reports will be sent home after their test is complete. Now, this does depend on in-person instruction because these assessments are done one-on-one in person. So I am not going to be able to test all 600 plus students at the beginning of the year like we typically do. And I'm working on ways to get some assessments done on my Reading Lab students. It's just a little different when we're doing things distance. How do you get a hold of me? The easiest way is to email me. I check my email often and I will respond back. If you'd like to call, I have office hours from 9 to 10:30 in the morning. And the number is there. Mr. Lopez, who is our Spanish, our translator, he also has office hours from 9 to 10:30 as well. There is a tab on all the grade level Google sites with Reading Lab and ELD. I have lots of different activities and websites that you can do at home. They are not required. Please make sure that you've registered on Aries, you filled out the student compact form, and thank you so much for watching the video.